good with that. But what we got to stop doing is, one, stop trying to shame people into thinking like we think. Stop thinking everybody's priorities are our priorities, and keep moving. Let's respect each other's differences, especially if it don't affect you. Let people be happy where they're happy at. Everybody just, it ain't, we ain't always gotta get along. We ain't always gotta agree. You know, I made a post, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago when, you know, we love to say we got to all get along to do better, yada, yada, yada. Look at white people, they always get along. And I asked y'all, have y'all been watching the hearings? Them white people going against white people. So quit thinking that we all got to get along. Everybody just need to do what they got to do for them and not hurt other people. And we can go a long way toward the betterment of each other. My man Lyle he's in the audience. He ain't with me today, but me and Lyle are different. Me and Roy are different. And you know what? That's okay. It works for us. I don't need for everybody to be like me, and I don't need for people to want me to be like them, because then they'll take away my individuality. We're all somebody different. Y'all know when they get to be that time of the season, y'all know I like to rock with the TB12. Now, I was a Patriot fan, but I'm a Tom Brady fan. So, you know, get me a sip from my Tom Brady cup. And that's okay. We're like the Dolphins. So we get to talk trash. Hell, I used to be a Dolphin fan back in the Marino days. When Marino left, I left. I like quarterbacks. I tend to follow quarterbacks instead of team. Now, I had somebody fussing at me about I should get a team and stick with them. And I was like, why? I don't do that with girlfriends. I don't know why I can't change. I'm confused about this. But that's why they call y'all fans, because it's short for fanatics. But it just goes to show that we can all be different and we can still get along. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. I think Lyle is a Chicago boy, so he probably liked the Bears and the Bulls. And hey, who didn't like the Bulls back in the days? And that's okay. But we got to stop trying to make everybody do the same thing. It's insanity. Do what works for you and let other people do what they want to do. I had a guy, what's up, Neon Keon? I had a guy who called me and wanted my opinion about the election when it first came out. And, you know, he was asking me who he should vote for. And I said, dude, I can't tell you who you should vote for because I don't know what's important to you. You got to make that call. I don't knock people who like 45. It's not my business. I ain't gonna necessarily like you because you like Biden. It's not my business. You got to do what works best for you and your agenda. We don't all have the same agendas. And with that being said, I tell people all the time, I do like to talk politics. What I don't want to talk is favoritisms and ignorance over actions. So, like, I'm in a couple of groups now, and I got a couple of Retrumplicans. They're not Republicans, they're Retrumplicans, because they can tell you everything that Biden has done wrong. And I made a post. I ain't happy with Biden, but I would still choose him over the last guy. And, you know, these Retrumplicans try to act like Trump ain't never done nothing wrong. And these hearings are showing you more and more how evil and how narcissistic he was. And it's amazing that these people want to ignore that. So you know what? I can't have an intelligent conversation because we can agree that Biden has done some things wrong. But when it comes to the other guy, can't nobody agree he's done nothing wrong. And, you know, it's crazy. There's a poll out, and I don't have it now because this ain't going to be a political show. I just want to show you something. Biden has one of the lowest presidential ratings ever. With that being said, if the election were today, the same polls say that Biden would beat 45. That's got to be a crushing blow to know you're the lowest rated president ever, but you can still beat the guy before you. And this ain't politics. This is just true. He ain't shit. He did a lot of shitty things. And if you're only mad at Biden because he says you ain't black if you don't vote for me, come on. What are we, 12? You're going to hear a lot of things, and if that's what you're going to hold on to, fine. But guess who trying not to make your vote count? The guy who you just won't admit did anything wrong. He was trying to eliminate your ability to vote. Factually speaking, he's never won a popular election. That's the comment you start off with Trumpkins, and then they want to tell you about the electoral vote. Okay, so he won last time, and nothing happened. He lost this time, and look at it. So he ain't never won, and Hillary didn't push the last time because Hillary won the popular vote, but she didn't push and try to have nothing done. Obama and Biden, who hated him because he was so disrespectful, you didn't see them trying to exchange, trying to stop the transfer of power, to overthrow the government, to undo what the will of the people. And that's what sucks. And that will of the people not only goes in politics, it goes in life too, as we go through things, because we gotta be there. We gotta let people do what works best for them. My man Lyle, all of Lyle's kids are grown, if I'm not mistaken. So does Lyle have a dog in the fight when we start talking about changing school, the agenda in schools, changing history to update it to where it's factual? I would honestly say, no, it's great if he does, but without him having kids in school, that wouldn't be his fight. He got another fight. And here again, this is where we get so confused about the whole political arena. And, maybe Roy jump on to say a word or two, but understand, a lot of the problems that I see most people complaining about have to deal with local government. They got nothing to do with DC, nothing. The president is there to keep us atop as a world power, not to make individual states, for which we got governors, you got the mayors of your city, you got council people, senators. That's not his job. His job is the world. His job is the United States of America, not Michigan, not Georgia, not Florida. That's what we got other people for. And we keep missing that, and we are blaming the wrong person. We don't go to the agent of change. What's up, Robert Stafford? Who's also on the wrong page. But Robert Stafford is my boy. We played ball together. He got an awesome show that comes on Tuesday from 7 to 9. Nope. Yeah, 7 to 9. Is that right, Robert? 7 to 9 or 6 to 8. But check him out. It's called Overflow. It's the People's Show. If you want to go on his show, he will invite you. He got a good thing going. So understand how that system works. Blame the right person for the right thing, and stop blaming because somebody's telling you something. The president has nothing to do with the price of gas. And then it's going down. You don't see them people saying that. They ain't giving him no credit now. I wonder why. And his show is 7 to 9. I was right the first time. And it's insane how they want to tell you something and just to push a narrative, and we fall for it. Know who controls what. As we talk about the gas, I'm gonna move on to another subject in 2 minutes. As we talk about gas, do the research. They voted to start investigating companies that were price gouging. You know who stopped it and said, let's not investigate corporations that are price gouging? The GOP. But they won't tell you that. They'll sit back and tell you, look at how he's driving us into the ground. And we believe it because we don't know what we're looking for. Because sometimes, that squeaky oil thing, you know how that squeaky oil thing goes? No, we listen to the wrong one. And that's what we got to do. Because if you follow politics and world, you will see that everywhere across the world, there's a recession. Everybody's going under. Gas is going up. Y'all really think Biden controlled France, China, and all them other places? No, but they won't tell you that because they want you to think a certain way. They're pushing your mindset somewhere else as they telling you how liberal they are or conservative, whatever it is. Just focus on yourself, do what's right for you, and keep moving, all right? And that's all I want to say about that. Now, what I want to get into next is I got 2 topics I want to talk about. And let's see. I don't want to get into, there you go. I'm happy now. I'm happy now, Neon Keon. With your barbecue. You still doing barbecue, Keon? Come on over, Overflow. You still doing barbecue? Next, I want to discuss the fragile male ego. But I actually need to have a couple of guests for that. So I'm going to hold on to that one because I need some kickback from that one. Robert, Keon, y'all want to come on the show since y'all free? We can discuss this openly. As a matter of fact, no, I ain't gonna do that. So I'm gonna give y'all time to do a little research for y'all. Come on. Keon, is the page froze? Because Robert's saying it's froze on this page. Oh, and you know what, Roy, he might have a point because I ain't seen, I'm still looking at the ads. Let me refresh it right quick. Roy, can you take a quick look at it and see what's going on? Yeah, because I don't see me moving at all. But as we look at certain things and we let men be men and all of this and all of that, when are we gonna, fellas, stand up? What's up, Mo? What's up? Mo is another one of my co-hosts who come in and keep me straight when I'm veering too far left or too far right, because sometimes I'm just on my grind. But fellas, we got to do a little bit better job of being men. And if you ain't gonna be a man, that's okay. Because guess what? At 20, I wasn't the man I'm at now. At 30, I still wasn't there. And that's okay. But we gotta step up. We gotta step up. We gotta step up. It's imperative that we step up for our own survival. We can't keep being dismissive to each other. We can't keep being abusive to each other. We can't keep being abusive to women and go from there. We owe it to the next generation to set standards. You know, I was talking to Trina about why some people don't recognize a good relationship. And next week, fellas, I got some uplifting / bad news, because we ain't doing a good job of showing the women in our life, the younger women, what they should look forward to when they grow up. And I'm gonna blame us for this. We got to do a better job. But you know, this is what I'm gonna talk about, because I got Robert here, even though I know he ain't gonna come on because he just treated me like a stepchild. Most of y'all saw the whole McDonald's video thing with the girl, you know, whether it was a skit or not, who cares? I'm sure there was more reality. It was more reality based than a lot of people care to admit to. So, you know, we were talking about that on Robert's show. And Mo is here. Mo is a good dude. Keon is here. Keon is a good dude. Robert, he's still my boy, but he's a good dude. Lyle is here. And we were talking about when you break up with a woman and she has your child and other children, of course you remain the father to your child. Do you remain the father or the father figure to the other children? And I say it depends on what type of relationship you're in. But you're not mandated, you're not legally bound, you're not morally bound or anything other than to take care of yours. I'm gonna stand by that till the day I die. That is my responsibility, mine. Now, I can be a good dude and still take care of the others, but there's a caveat to that. And I want y'all to, fellas, I need for y'all to help me out with this one. We're only gonna be as good as the mother lets us to these other children. Now, I was married, my first marriage. We stayed together about 5 years. Her kids were young, but those kids to this day still call me dad. So guess what? Yes, there was a great relationship. And my first wife had my son. I would do things with all three of them, but that was the relationship that we had. It only stopped when she stopped saying I could only get one of them. I'm gonna always see my son. I want to see the other one too because I call them mine. But legally speaking, if she said I can't, there's nothing I can do about it. On the flip side, we gonna do what we're allowed to do when you're being good. We don't owe you. We don't owe it to you. You used to do this. We all used to do certain things. Relationships entitle you to certain privileges. I'm sure that nobody will disagree with that. When we're in a relationship, you get certain privileges. That just makes common sense. It's just common sense. But when we ain't in a relationship, you don't get the same privileges like I don't get the same privileges. So what is there to argue about? And when we stepping up, understand how dating goes when you're dating. Dating is going in phases. No woman, and I'm just gonna say this, no woman in the initial stage of dating, in my humble opinion, should have a new guy around her kids. I should only be meeting the kids once we are at a place where we want to be committed and seemingly stable and seeing if we do have a future. Once we do that, then yeah, let me meet the kids. Because if they're young, and I did this when my son came with me. I let him meet the women I was dating to see who he liked, because it was important to me. He was young at the time. Him not liking a woman was going to play a major decision in my world. I would say the same thing as in reverse. When we date a woman with kids, whether or not the kids like us plays a major role on whether or not we can progress. Let's find this out sooner than later. Not immediately, but sooner than later. And yes, Robert, it should be at the guy's discretion, but it's up to the mother's direction as to how we use that discretion. The better she treats us, the better the relationship, the better everything goes. When demands are being made, a lot of people don't respond well to demands, especially if it's an ill-advised demand. You can't make me do something that I'm not legally or morally obligated to do. Most says I can only speak for myself, but if I had a good relationship with those kids when I was with the mother, I would still care for those kids, but I would respect my boundaries if the kids are not my biological children. And right. And the thing is, like I say, when we looking at totality, and ladies, gentlemen, everybody got upset with Kevin Samuels, even though he spoke a lot of truth. Listen to the videos, not for entertainment, but listen to them to hear what he's saying. Because he's promoting marriage. He's promoting Black love. He's promoting a lot of things that all y'all are saying. Hold on right quick. Keon said, man, listen, that's a sore subject for me. I have gotten into it with several family members about this. Every man you meet don't need to meet your kids, right? And they don't, unless you're going to be in a real relationship. If y'all just doing cut buddy stuff, let everybody stay in their lane. And this is the problem I do have with women. Because ladies, y'all ain't here yet, and we're going to replay this show, but no man should be meeting your kids, in my humble opinion, if he has not committed to the relationship portion, not the sex portion, not to just Netflixing and chilling portion. If he has not committed to wanting to be a part of y'all's life, keep him over here. Keep him in the layaway status. Have fun with him, get your little needs met, and then go back home to your kids. If he is not about that life, this is 98% on the women. Fellas, if you don't want to be consider the bonus dad, don't do bonus dad shit. Stay in your lane. If you considering it, go slower. And it's okay. It's okay. Take your time, make a wise decision. Don't do something that can't be undone. And ladies, as Keon said, do your due diligence. Check the sex offender registry. You never know. Fellas, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Check the sex offender registry. There are women who are on it. But this is a process. This is a process that you got to go through before you start wanting to introduce people to your kids. Here, for me, it's a process to let women into the back cave. The back cave is my private solitude. I don't want a lot of people. I would rather get a hotel and meet somewhere else. But, I'm not going to veer off that. I'm not going to veer into that subject right now. But when it comes to dating women with kids, ladies, and fellas, tell me if I'm wrong. There's a lot of things that we're looking at. And I said this on Robert's show yesterday, The Overflow, Everyday People. I'm looking at the ages of the children. I'm also looking at how many fathers that they have. These are things that, yes, I'm judging you. I'm judging you. How old are you? I do believe in my heart of hearts, at 57 years old, I don't blame any woman or man, for that matter, for the first baby. You're young. We believe love is the answer to everything. And it's not as you grow older. My magic number is 2. I like women with 2 kids. I've dated women with 2 kids. Shit, it's crazy. Every woman I married had 2 kids. Most of them I've dated, I just like that because my own reasons. But I look at the kids, the ages apart, who the fathers were, what kind of relationship they got, because all these things are important to me. All right. Most says people look at the kids don't have a say because a lot of feelings will get hurt. And to me, that's a sad thing. If your kids don't have a say, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Especially depending on their age. If the kids are under 10, they should have a major say. Now, semicolon. If the kids are 15, 16, and about to leave the house in a couple of years, they got less of a say because they're not going to be there. But if they're young kids, they should have major influence on who you decide to go habitate with. What's up, Trisha Lee? Glad to see you. Trisha Lee, don't think I forgot you. You want the pool boy without the pool. I remember you. Trisha Lee says, my children have a great relationship with my ex-husband, and he was their stepdad. My children are also grown. All right, Trisha Lee, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of stepdad because I hate that word. We're going to call him bonus dad because I like bonus dad better, because none of my kids, I've never called them my stepchildren. They are all my children. If they accept me as their dad, I accept them as my children. I just get to be the bonus dad. But I got you. I'm with you. But yeah, if there's a great relationship, you got Trisha Lee, you let them do their thing. And if not, hey, but you can't force them to do it once the relationship is broken up, especially if there's animosity. You know, I told a story that one of the girls I dated, I absolutely loved her kids. And, you know, out of the blue, one day she called me and she told me my daughter was acting crazy. And I'm trying to figure out who she's talking about, because she had never called her daughter my daughter. Even though her daughter would call me dad, she always, you know, it seemed like she was always correcting that. But when they had a problem, she called me and she put her daughter on the phone, and her daughter, the first word out of her mouth is she was like, Dad, I'm not wrong. Mom is tripping. I was like, wow. And this was she's grown now. She was 20 something at the time. And she would only listen to me. And I'm like, damn, I ain't talked to her in 5, 6 years. It's like, wow. But, you know, that was the relationship and the respect that she had for me. So we went over, we had a little long talk, a father-daughter talk, and everything was good. And we stayed in touch. We're still in touch. But those are things that you kind of have to see how things are going. Me and the mother, we didn't break up on bad terms. So, you know, if she reach out, that's fine. If me and Trina, for whatever reason, decide had a breakup, and let's just say Trina had my son. Y'all know I'm just gonna stick with this son thing just because I want to. Because of Zuri, and y'all seen Zuri on the show singing and dancing, Zuri's 8. If I did something for my son, there's a 99.99% chance I would do the same thing for Zuri. When I came to pick up my son, I would want Zuri too, if Zuri was available. And as long as me and Trina are on good terms, I don't see where that would be a problem. And you know, but that's a relationship that we have. And those things are organic. You can't force me. Trina can't tell me that if I want to come get my son, I can only come get my son if I get her daughter. And I think that's where a lot of it gets lost in translation. You can't, just like we can't make y'all do something, I can't make us do something. You get more with sugar than you will with shit. And these are things you got to understand. There was a lady from Robert's show yesterday who said, you know, she's got 8 kids. She won't date a man who's not going to take care of her 8 kids. And I was like, you know, that's that Kevin Samuel shit. How in the hell you going to tell me I got to take 8 kids? You present the bad image. Don't get it twisted. I'm not knocking anybody for having 8 kids. I'm knocking you for having 8 kids and trying to make another man take care of them. Trisha, Trisha got children. Trisha, you don't even look old enough to have kids. How old are you, Trisha? I'm being nosy now. But how you gonna have multiple kids, multiple baby daddies, and tell me I gotta take care of them? See, I think that most of the guys on my page, I don't know all y'all, especially the ones that follow the show, if you date a woman, if you're seriously dating a woman, Keon, I can't say that to none of y'all because all y'all married, so I ain't getting none of y'all in trouble. But if you're gonna date a woman, you're seriously dating, not just sexing, you're gonna naturally do what you're supposed to do, because most of the guys that I deal with are grown men. And they do grown man things. They're going to take responsibility for certain things. And you know what? We're going to do it unless you make that a caveat up front. I got 8 kids. Are you ready to take care of my 8 kids? Damn, Shawty, I don't even know if I like you, and you already trying to give me a hella bill. And this is where you go back to that Kevin Samuels thing. You want this, but you're providing what? You coming in with hella bills, you coming in with hella attitude, you coming in with a whole lot of nothing to offer, and you already making demands. Pump your brakes, slow your roll. Pump your brakes, slow your roll. There is somebody for everybody. And everybody who's in a real relationship has to make some kind of concessions. But you can't come in with demands about things that are subjective. See, a woman can say she wants a man to treat her nice. That is automatic. That is what every woman should want, unless they're in a drama, is that a man treat her nice. Trisha, right now, you're the only woman here. Every woman should want a man who will respect her. And if she's got a child, know that she has a child. And if he wants to date her seriously, try to get along with that child. You don't have to try to be the daddy, but you got to try to get along. If I say I don't want to date women with kids, if Trisha knows that she has small kids, then Trisha don't need to try to convince me why I should date her, because I've already put it out there. Trisha needs to go on and cut her losses. She didn't say how old the kids were. She just said she had 8. And for you to say that they're kids, and based on the conversation we're having, these ain't none of these grown kids. And if they need to be taken care of, clearly they're young kids. Even if she had only been married one time, and all 8 of these kids had the same father, if we're being honest, Mo, Keon, Samuel, Robert, how do you really want to date a woman with 8 kids? And let's, like I said, we're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say she had them with one man. Do you want to step in? Because to me, that's an added pressure. There's a lot of things that go with that. And you can truly be into this woman. Trisha, flip the script. Would you want to date a guy who had 8 kids all by his wife? Let's just say she passed, whatever. Would you want to date a man who had 8 kids? And we're going to say, for the purpose of this exercise, that they're all under 15. Is there anybody who sees the positive from dating somebody who comes in with 8 kids? Honestly, I couldn't do it. Keon says he couldn't do it. I'm gonna wait and see what you got saying. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's about being honest, so that we don't waste each other's time having you think that I'm gonna do something that I ain't, when I already know that I'm just not feeling this. I don't think I'm built for that struggle. I want to have a good time. I want us to go places. I want to be able to take trips. I want us to be able to plan things. But now we're talking about versus a basic trip for me, me, the woman, the 2 kids, that's 4. We're talking about now I got to plan for 10. So that's 2.5 times the amount. To me, that's insane, especially when she comes with demands. And I ain't never met Samuel, but Samuel done said some things that let me know he's an above average grown man. And like I said, it's not that we're judging the woman. It's just that we know that that's a little bit more than we want to deal with. Trish says, I would sound terrible. I won't date anyone with kids. Reason I'm 49, I've had my heart broken by raising children that aren't my own, and they aren't in my life. And you know, and a lot of guys go through that. And it don't sound terrible. Trish, what we do, this is your first time on the show. We like to have an uncomfortable conversation. And what we do is we seek to speak the truth so that we can come up with ways to overcome or let people know that there are options out there for everybody. There are options. But there are also times when what you want ain't what you're going to get. And, you know, we hate to use the word settle because we make it into a bad word. But at the end of the day, once we find somebody we like, we always settle. We settle with them. We stop looking. So yes, I settle for this. I settle for that. You find a home, you settle on the one you like. Settling is not a bad thing. And we got to stop making it like it's a bad thing. Dropping your standards is a bad thing. Settling is not. You know, I only want this, but I'll take that. You know, no. Man, I'm getting me a BMW. Damn, I can't afford it. I'm going to get me a Yugo. Those are two totally different things. So no, McDonald's going to be happy. Keon, don't make you go to bed. Once upon a time, I raised 4 that weren't mine. And that's always a great thing. It's always a great thing. Anytime you step up, Trisha, guys, to be a bonus parent, man, I ain't nothing like that. You know, remember one of them songs, I think, who was it that made a song about being the step? I want to say it was Spice One. I'm old, so I'm telling my age. But, you know, being a bonus parent is a thankless job. But for those who do it, we do it because we love the kids. As Trisha was saying, that's one of the reasons she won't date a man with kids now, because she don't want her heart broken from missing the kids. And I totally get that. I've dated women, and when we broke up, you know, the breakups wasn't the greatest. They kind of used the kids against me because I did love the kids. I've stayed in relationships too long because of the kids, because I love them and not the mother. Anyway, I'm in a better place now. Trish says, I agree. Sometimes we say one thing and fear finds us another path. Right. And we have to be okay with it. Fate finds us another path. We have to be okay with that. We have to be able to make adjustments on the fly. No, sir. No, sir. Spice One was A. Boy, stop playing. Brian reveals, aka Mindless Chaos, is in the house. Brian, you know I always forget. Tell him again when your show is and what day is on. That brother, hey, Samuel, hey, don't make me put you in timeout. Man, y'all, hey, you know, this is supposed to be a friendly show. I don't need y'all with these, you know, part-time comedian jokes. I will put you, Samuel, Brian, both y'all in timeout. You know what I'm saying? Keon, you already know what's up with you. You already know. I know how to find you. I know your peoples. Anyway, Trish, I'm gonna talk to you. I ain't talking to these knuckleheads. But these are the things that we have to do, and we have to take these into consideration when we're figuring out what's good enough for us and what are we good enough for. Because as a man, if you got 8 kids, can you tell a woman that, hey, when you give me, I expect you to cook for 8 kids, I expect this, and just start giving out a list? Damn, we don't even know if we like each other yet. We don't even know if we want to go to this next level yet. But guess what? This is the problem with, this is one of the drawbacks to having 8 kids. How do you find time to date? It's hard finding a babysitter for 8 kids. Oh no, that you good. Okay, so Brian's show premieres Sunday, August 28th. One day he's gonna let me on his show. The Dynamite Network. All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. It ain't tacky because I believe in, we all gotta promote each other. You know what I'm saying? Promotion is free. It costs nothing. But when you got 8 kids, how do you date with 8 kids? How do you date? You know, maybe, you know, like I say, if we use my scenario where the oldest one is 14 or 15, he can babysit the other ones. Other than that, you know, you trying to find somebody, and let's just flip the scenario. Let's say the kids are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. We'll throw a 9-year-old in there. They ain't really, that's what's up. They're not really equipped to be babysitters for long periods of time. So these are things that we have to consider when we're in the dating process. And some of these things take us out of the dating pool. You'll see lots of women who won't seriously date anybody until their kids are out of the house because they know the problems that it brings. They know that the drama that it brings, because when you got young kids, you got to keep your phone with you. And most of us don't want to be on dates where we got to keep the phone. Fellas, you got to be a little bit more understanding that she got to keep her phone when she got a babysitter. Somebody has to pay for this babysitter. If she's got 8 kids, unless she doing super duper, chances are her finances ain't the great with 8 kids, you know, especially, you know, who knows? And it ain't just the women, it's the men that same. This is where the double standards does not kick in. 8 kids is a lot of kids. And for you to come in and say what somebody else has to do, to me, is insanity on steroids. You come in just telling folk what they got to do. Who you, shawty? Who you? And that's what we got there. So when we're doing this, and this ain't never to hurt people's feelings. Another, I got a call, you know, and everybody, B, you know this, everybody swear they want honesty. Everybody swear they want honesty. So Trish, again, I'm gonna use you because I know you ain't sensitive with your pool boy looking for a self with no pool. When you're trying to meet people, date people, whatever it is that we're gonna call this game we play in life, everybody claims they want the truth, but they only want their truth. A lot of times they don't want the truth. How can you want the truth? The truth is what it is. In pursuit of the truth, if me telling you the truth is going to cause you to yell at me, cut me off, throw stuff, swing at me, or punish me, you're not going to get the truth because you can't handle the truth. Very few people volunteer to be punished. So if, what the hell is Trina? If Trisha, if I was trying to get with Trisha and she told me certain things and one of them was something I didn't like, what am I doing? Am I going to tell her the truth, or am I going to try to flex with the truth to stay in her good graces? Well, if I know she's going to punish me, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to flex. Even though everybody says, oh, I'm always tell the truth. Nobody wants to be in trouble, except for narcissists. Most people don't want to be in trouble. And this is one of those things, even when you're in the dating world, you got to be able to take rejection. In life, you got to be able to take rejection and understand everybody ain't for you. Just because you like somebody don't mean they for you. Just because somebody like you ain't for them. You can't just keep giving everybody a chance because they might be. You got to go with your preferences and priorities, which me and Roy always talk about. I may do a show later on about that because I ain't did one, I think, in a couple of years. But you have to know what your minimum standards are, especially as far as priorities, and they have to be realistic. I think me and Roy, we had a couple of guests who, one girl had a list of 25 priorities that a man had to have, which was insane because that's way too many. No,
she had a list of 75 that she scaled. No, excuse me. She had a list of 105 that she scaled down to 65, and those were her non-negotiables.
Yeah, and to have 65 non-negotiables is akin to insanity. Especially right off the rip. And we'll talk about how you get to those later. But you setting this up. And the thing is, how are you matching your priorities? What is it that you're doing to earn this? What are you doing to earn this? Mo, why you switch pages? Come back over to the right page. Right, and it's funny. Mo says, how does this dress look? I guarantee y'all gonna lie. Well, and I'm lucky because when Trina asks me, Trina wants my honest opinion. I'd be like, hey, it's cute, but you can't wear it with me. We ain't gonna lie, but we're gonna put a little thing in there because it's cute, you like it, but not with me. Because I can tell her and be upfront. Hey, Trina, she's like, where we going? This is what I want. I want you to be a head turner. Or we're going to a PTA meeting. And, we sit there and she'll tell me, but we're good there. But there's still certain things that I can't call it a lie. It's just that we give it a toned down version because it's smarter. And I don't really work. I can't say that there's anything that me and Trina have had, because y'all know we have uncomfortable conversations all the time, that will put us there now. Brian says 65 non-negotiable. Yeah, that's how after Roy made her cut it down. She's gonna be 65 before she realizes, no, she's gonna be older than that. And she's gonna be alone because nobody's gonna meet all those. Because looking for perfection is probably one of the dumbest things going. You don't need to find perfection in anybody. You just need to find somebody who is perfect with your imperfections, or that you're okay with their imperfection, and go from there. Whether you do the 80-20, 75-25, nobody's going to meet every standard that we got. And if they do, there's a good chance that, you're going to be pissed when you wake up and see that they ain't real. But once you find that somebody who does have what you want, you settle on them. Settling is not a bad thing in this situation. But for the good of the relationship, Trina, how you get on that page? Man, come over here. I only did that because I was just trying to do something different. Random thoughts of DVP, you know what you're supposed to be. But we got all this stuff. We want honesty, and we give out all this baggage, and we want somebody to carry our bags for us. That's unrealistic. That is unrealistic. But we say all these things that make us sound more dateable. We say all these things, AKA lies, to make us seem more approachable. But know who you are. Know who you are. Some things are strictly preferences, and we don't understand the difference in preferences and priorities, needs and wants. I have a thing for left-handed women. That is nowhere near on my priority list. But I've dated several left-handed women, and they seem to like me, and I seem to like them. But it is not a priority. It's just a cute little bonus. Who knows? I think one of my hidden priorities is having 2 children. Since I seem to gravitate toward that, since I tend to marry that. Who knew I wouldn't have put it on there? But like I say, these are things where we're not settling. Because again, everybody has a magic number. Brian, Brian, you still in love, or what happened with that? But Brian he does financial stuff, so I'm sure he's pretty good with his money. And Brian, could you date a woman with 8 kids? Roy, could you date a woman with 8 kids? Is there anybody who could date somebody who had 8 kids? Date in the legitimate sense, as in building a future. And I know we're talking generic because we don't know what may present itself. But if you met a woman and you find out if you met a person and you find out they had 8 kids, could you process that and think, you know what, I can work with this? Roy, Brian, Trina?
Well, let me ask you this. Though it depends on, we're talking now. So I guess it would depend on what are the ages of the children.
The oldest is 15, using this scenario.
Ooh, sweet baby Jesus. I don't know. And the only reason I say I don't know that I could do that in my situation is because my youngest son just graduated from college. I spent the last 35 years sacrificing for my kids.
Right.
It wouldn't necessarily be about her and the 8 children, just about now what I'm ready to do in my life.
Exactly. And those are the things that we have to consider. It ain't a negative on her or him per se, but it is a negative in the big equation. And it's like people try to shame you for having preferences. What is canonology, Mo? You can't be introducing words. See, that's why you're supposed to hit that link and come on the show, but I'm gonna let you slide. What is canon? Oh, I hope you ain't you talking about Nick Cannon, I bet. I caught you there. See, you almost got that one past me. It's insane to me. It's insane. But that's one of them things that when you hear it, but if I'm being honest, I would have never thought, and Roy can back me on this, because me and Roy have been around for a while. I would have never imagined I would have got with Trina. I would have never imagined I would ever be serious with somebody who had a young child, because I am in the twilight, the later years. I want to do this, I want to do that. But that little girl snuck and snowed my heart, and her mama put a spell on me, but that's a whole nother show. But here I am. But again, and me and Roy laugh about it. If we would have bet, Roy would have been married before me. And for me to even be married and have a young child, nobody would have bet on that. Nobody. Would you, Roy, would you ever think I would have fell for a woman with a young child? Because we've been together 5 years. So she was 3 when we got together. So it wasn't like she was going to wake up and be 15.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have. Yeah,
we both be broke.
I believe that one before I'd have believed another one. But you can put your arms around Trina and touch your elbows. So that one, I knew that one was gonna happen.
You know what, Roy, I can't stand you. You all right? Cut your mic off. Cut your mic off. And I'm gonna just, since he brought it, that shit, it's funny, but that is truly one of my priorities. I got long arms. If you can't fit in there, it just ain't gonna happen. I don't care how cute you are, I don't care how much I like you. This is something that is just, it's a rule. It's a standing rule. When I get that first hug and we meet, I already know what my potential is for you. Trina fit in there. Hell, Trina, both her girls could fit in there, so I was good. And she still put a spell on me. But anyway, hey Trina, hey baby. So yeah, it is 7 o'clock. Roy, can you put up the thing I sent you, the R. Kelly thing? And I talk about double standards and I talk about a lot of stuff, and I saw this and it's truly bothered me. And I think Brian had it on his page too. I think I saw it right before I came on.
That's where you got this one from, was Brian's page.
And I'm like, what the hell? Court documents show a mom taught her 17-year-old daughter how to seduce R. Kelly and encourage her to have his babies. And I see people trying to defend R. Kelly. And I don't understand for the life of me. When do we become a nation of defending criminals? We victimize victims more than anybody else, and we can't figure out why we're in the condition we in. Now, what R. Kelly did, and people are trying to mix and match subjects. He didn't get convicted for dealing with adult women, and at 17, she's an adult. The woman in that video, for those who saw the video, know that that woman was not 17. Aaliyah was not 17. So it's like you're going to dance around all of that to try to bring up this one woman who was a trickster. And we all know tricksters. This woman, you got one. Her parents were teaching her this. Her parents were teaching her to survive the game, almost like, as Mo said, canonology. So what? Lots of women, if we're being honest, which is what we do on this show, are trying to secure the bag. Having a baby with a millionaire at the time is a hell of a way to secure the bag. Ain't no shame in the game. We always talk about, we see the posts all the time that Black women are taught to be self-sufficient. White women are taught to marry for love and money. Love the first time, money the second time. So if she wants to have his baby at 17, there is no law against that. Not the first one. Now, most of us wouldn't do that. Most of us wouldn't do that. And we got our own reasons. But because she did it, how does that have any merit on R. Kelly's case? How does it have any bearing on what he did? Understand, they got him for trafficking, which is bringing women across state line for the purpose of sexual stuff. See, when you hear the girl talk about him making have sex with her, with another girl, with other men, with him making her do things in front of other men. See, this is part of the disgusting behavior that he engaged in. So one girl want to have his baby, all of a sudden he not a monster no more? You got to be shitting me. You got to be shitting me. This man is a predator. This man is a predator. Them girls look like girls. It ain't like he got confused because they were 12, but they looked like they was 20. And as Trina says, what does that have to do with him sending soldiers to hunt for these young girls, for him getting them away from their homes, from him hiding them out? All of this, we're going to forget all of that because one girl wanted to have his baby because her mom and dad or mom or whoever was trying to get that done. So Trina, darling, have you ever heard of women trying to get intensely pregnant by a man? Forget his money. But we've all heard stories about women poking holes in condoms. We've heard about women doing this or that. The hooker man, hell, they ain't even rich. That's been going on since the beginning of the time. What does any of that have to do with sex trafficking? And why are we going to make this man all of a sudden a saint because one woman wants to have his baby and get the bag? What does it have to do with him forging documents and paying off clerks and stuff to get a license to marry Aaliyah? Please help me understand. And we seem to do this a lot. We seem to like victimizing victims while we stand strong for criminals and their criminal behavior. Robert Kelly is now engaged to one of his victims. This is clearly a systemic issue that is not specific to public people. Most people are supportive of their molesters and their family than they aren't. And Stockholm Syndrome is when you've been kidnapped and slowly you fall for your abductor because you around them. And you know, it's such a common thing because most of us have actually been around somebody who we probably didn't care for in the beginning, but as we got to know them, we went over to the dark side with them. It's okay. Katina Robinson, come on over to Random Thoughts with DVP and stop playing. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Just because that's what she wanted to do, that negates what? It negates nothing. But here we go. Victimizing victims while trying to defend criminals.
I was about to say, I think what you really want to say is you want to say we're criminalizing victims.
No, because
we're victimizing victims.
Yeah, because we assaulting them again. We're victimizing the victims.
Oh, okay.
You know, when the boy shoots, when the boy broke in the lady's house and they shot him, they didn't have to shoot him. He was a good kid. He had a scholarship. They should go to jail. What? They are victims. So now you're trying to victimize them all over again because your stupid ass brother broke into their house? What kind of sense that made? My favorite one. He had a right to hit her. She was talking too much. Really? What the hell? We always want to defend the defenseless. Even with Brittany Griner. I know I ain't supposed to say nothing because she's a woman. Ha 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 ha. But I'm looking at all this stuff about her and how she's such a sympathetic source. Bring Brittany home. Bring Brittany home. She's a victim of the system. Yada 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 yada. Do we ever discuss the victimization of? I'm gonna make this racist for a hot second. For all the Black men who plead guilty to small drug charges just so they can get out of jail and go home? Do we talk about the fact that they sold drugs to support their income because they weren't making enough from their job, so they chose to do something misdemeanorish because they only selling little bits here, little bits there? Brittany's different though. Brittany's different because she's an athlete that most people never heard of. Unless she was into the WNBA, most people didn't know who the hell she was. And nobody cared until she reached out to the WNBA and they made it public. Oh, we need to bring her home. Why? She's a criminal. She only had this amount of weed. I mean, hashish. Okay, but what about her domestic violence? She likes to beat up women. If she was a man, would she receive this same sympathy? That has nothing to do with nothing. When did we take domestic violence off the table? When did we take domestic violence off the table? Somebody please tell me, because I've been wanting to hear this. Because if a man commits domestic violence, when is it not ever brought up in anything he does from that point on? And so I'm getting in trouble. Roy, you with me? You got your mic on?
Yes, sir.
So, Roy, tell me something, because you're a learned man. You're a scholar. You watch a little news from time to time, right?
Yes, sir.
We know for a fact that the LGBTQ got juice. Yes?
Si, senor.
In your research, in your perusing mainstream media, wherever, have you seen them come out and say anything about Brittany Griner?
As the official group, no, I have not.
Don't y'all find that strange? Because they pop up everywhere to defend all their people.
Yeah, I literally saw one post from someone who was in the community that brought something up.
They are strangely quiet now. They are strangely quiet. And we know they got juice. But guess what? This is how you know they smart. See, People keep talking about, they want to compare Britney's situation to other people's situation. They want to compare it to what happened in China. Well, the US and China ain't the best of friends, but they ain't the worst of enemies. The US and Russia ain't even kissing cousins from afar. They're not Facebook friends or nothing. They are enemies. They have been enemies for a long time. So you can't compare the two at all. You cannot compare the two at all. Britain had a severe case of OJ-itis. She thought because she was over there, she was one of them. She got lax. Well, if it was LeBron James, listen, as the old folks say, it could have been Jesus himself. Russia don't want to negotiate with us. They don't want to seem like they're friendly with us. And y'all missing a whole lot of BS. And here come the Trumpkins talking about Trump could do it. Who did Trump get out from Russia when he was over there? That little white guy was over there. And we all say white men got a lot of juice. We do anything for them. So why did he get to stay over there so long? So now we sitting here making excuses why we should get Brittany back, why she's being traumatized. But how many men stay in jail for a little bit of weed for 6 months, a year, awaiting trial?
Hey, so real quick about that situation, actually, it's something that I thought about. I saw it. I saw like 2 or 3 posts on it, but then I didn't see anything else. I saw something that said she pled guilty.
Yeah. She is guilty.
Well, right. I mean, that's my point. But
and let's just say, according to y'all, she just did that so she get done. That's the same thing that happens in the American jail system to most black men. They plead guilty so they can get to the sentencing phase so they can get away quicker. But y'all ain't got no sympathy for them. We're sitting here having sympathy for a woman who makes $200,000 for 6 months worth of work. This agitates me severely. She makes $200,000 for 6 months worth of work. If it was anybody else, we would say they need better money management skills. She got to go over there to earn. Why? She making $200,000 in 6 months. So tell me why she can't do something else over here for 6 months. My daughter, one of my daughters plays overseas. I'm confused. I'm confused. Do the research. Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony. Lots of NBA players have played overseas. There's a different level of money. Go over there and make your money. But how is it our fault that $200,000 ain't enough for her for a year, even though she only got to work 6 months? Even though she only got to work 6 months. Why you can't be an analyst? Why you can't get another job for 6 months? And understand this. NBA players have to play 82 games. The WNBA don't play that many. So what is she? She could be doing lots of other stuff. Skylar Diggs ain't playing in Russia. Diana Taurasi ain't playing in Russia. So I'm confused. I'm confused.
They're coming up, but they white players.
And who white? Oh, but see, cause I have watched the WNBA, because like I said, my daughter played. She ain't Cheryl Swoops. She ain't Lisa Leslie. Do you remember when they went overseas to play? Of course you don't, because they didn't. They found other ways to make money, but they live within their means. They live within their means. And then when you claim it's sexist, that's got to be the most asinine argument ever. She should get paid. LeBron get paid this. Do you know what LeBron generates in revenue? And the uncomfortable truth is that WNBA is a boring game. But if we're gonna just deal straight with facts, because I like facts when we're arguing. Sam, but Sam, ain't that what black men been doing all the time? They plead guilty for leniency. And who stands up for them? Who says that, oh man, well, he had to sell drugs or because he wasn't making enough money in his other job, so he was just trying to make ends meet. Don't nobody care. It's a bunch of people over here who ain't making $200,000. And they ain't doing nothing criminal somewhere else. What? See, Y'all old as hell too. What the Beretta say? Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Antoinette, it ain't a salary disparity. It's a business disparity. Understand this. You can go buy a car from a Toyota dealership from a Toyota salesman. I guarantee you, he is not making the same amount as a Lamborghini salesman. Same job, different companies. See, it's only sexist when you have the same body governing both of them. The NBA does not govern the WNBA. They got their own hierarchy. The WNBA makes $60 million a year in revenue. They spend $70 million. So they $10 million in the hole.
But hold up. So the WNBA actually is a wholly owned subsidiary of the NBA. They are an actual subsidiary company.
Right, but they got their own.
They do have their own management structures.
Yep, they got their own. They got everything else. So it ain't for them to pay somebody else because, well, you got the NFL, the CFL, the USFL. Once upon a time, you had the XFL. All those are men playing the same exact sport, the same exact way. Do you see that pay disparity? The NFL's make way. The low NFL are gonna make more than the highest paid XFL. Period. Different sports, different budgets. You make what you can bring in. The WNBA is hemorrhaging $10 million a year. 10 million. So how you gonna get a raise? How do you compare her to LeBron, who cares about his image? How you gonna compare her to Magic or Michael, who gamble? So you want to make this about a man-woman thing? I guarantee you this. Yes, Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, and Brittany Griner could beat me, Brian, and Samuel, but they couldn't beat the third stringers on an NBA team. You know how many women you see sitting on the bench of the NBA game? And there have been women who have been drafted, Ann Myers, and I think it was a couple more. They weren't good enough. They weren't fast enough. They weren't big enough. And Brittany Griner's a big girl. She's strong compared to other women in the WNBA. If you put Brittany Griner in the NBA game, she would never, ever get to play. Never, ever. So to say that she should make what the men are making, despite not having the same skill set or level, is insanity. Insanity. We just saw the US, I don't know how many of y'all watched the USFL. It's pretty exciting. They still ain't gonna make as much as the NFL. They don't generate the same revenue. And as we talk about the WNBA, and ladies, this is why I'm more upset with you, ladies, not you necessarily, Antoinette, but everybody talks about this. Everybody talks about this, but how many of y'all watch the game, go to a flea market and see if you can find a counterfeit jersey from the WNBA? Nobody's watching it. Nobody talks about it. But y'all think it's unfair, but y'all not talking about it. I guarantee the average woman knows who Michael Jordan is. They probably know who LeBron is and probably even Kobe Bryant. But if you put Cheryl Swoops in front of them, if you put Diana Taurasi in front of them, they ain't gonna know who that is. I'm willing to bet dimes to dollars. So when we make these assertions about what they should be, they don't even have the same advertising skills. It's insane. And we have to stop lying to make ourselves feel good or to create a false narrative and be fair about what's what. Because who was it? Some NFL player just got dropped because he got arrested for domestic violence. I ain't seen nobody coming to his rescue. Let that man make money. The fact that he hit women is okay, but Brittany can hit a woman, take drugs overseas, not be smart enough to leave. She makes $200 a year, and then plus whatever she make over there. You go over there, you buy drugs. When you leave them there. You come to America, you buy drugs. When you leave here, you leave them there. It's a simple process. Oh, sometimes we forget we put in our bags. Ladies and gentlemen, if we're being honest, with all the shit that's going on in airports, how many of us forget that we put shit in our bag now? Because we don't want to go to jail. What's up, Tracy G? That's right. Watch Locked Up Abroad. And this is where American arrogance comes in, because we think the world should revolve around us. Look it up for yourself. Most countries still say marijuana is illegal at any level. Hash oil is illegal at any level. And with Sharonda, that's because you on that stuff. And when you go somewhere else, you have to abide by their laws. You being an American don't mean shit to nobody but you. Nothing to nobody but you. Oh, I'm an American. And you ain't in America now. When I go to Sharonda's house, Sharonda don't care about where I live. Sharonda care about where I am. And if I'm in Sharonda's house, I got to abide by Sharonda's rules. Or get the hell on, though. Or get the hell on.
Hey, D, so let me jump in here real quick and drop a little something on you. Since we talk about this, because the argument, it amazes me when I hear people with the argument about the WNBA players should be making more money than what they're doing, and especially when they compare them to the men's team. So this year in the WNBA, the average attendance for the Seattle Storm, which has the highest average attendance of all their teams, is 9,795 people per game, right? Mm-hmm. 9,975. That's the top team in the league. Seattle Storm gets more people than anybody else. The lowest team in the NBA averages 14,359 per game. So you're looking at roughly a 5,000 more average to them against the lowest team. Now, the team with the most, it's 20,000. They double what the WNBA team brings in. And the thing that people have to realize, and you mentioned it, it's when you get across that level of competition, a lot of people come to NBA games to watch the visiting team. People like to come in and see LeBron so they can boo against him. They want to see these superstars come in and boo against them and all that kind of stuff. And it ends up being a straight money situation. They tried to put the WNBA on regular television, and they couldn't even justify the numbers of people watching them to keep them on the regular, non-paid, non-subscription platforms versus running reruns of old shows. That shows you how much people even not trying to watch it on TV.
Yeah, and for me, the sad part is that most of their fan base is still men. It's still men, because you see women talking about it, but you don't see women. I don't see women posting like, "Hey man, did y'all see that game? Did y'all see Sky Diggler last night?" By the way, watch Sky Diggler. She the truth. She played like a boy. She can't play with him, but she played like one. But nobody knows her, because while y'all saying what should happen, y'all ain't doing nothing to promote it. You ain't going to the games. You ain't watching it on TV. So how's she gonna get this raise if you don't promote it? How they gonna get this raise? And this is the insane portion when you sit there and you act like you don't understand business or economics, because Brian, Sharonda, who gets paid enough? But you can only get paid based on what your employer makes. Most employers ain't going 10 million in the hole to try to keep you afloat. This is why leagues keep failing, because they try to match a payroll to a system that ain't theirs instead of building. This is why the USFL folded the first time, because for those of y'all who want to remember, the USFL tried to compete with the NFL. They were taking some of the top players, Steve Young, Herschel Walker back when he was good, Bruce Smith, and a few others.
45 sold them USFL people out. Told them, convinced them to take their league from a summer league to a fall league, and destroyed them.
Yeah, and remember now, like I said, I'm old enough to remember this. Herschel Walker was one of the first people to be guaranteed $1 million a year. That's why I ain't mad at him. He should have loyalty to Donald Trump, because at that time $1 million was a lot, and Herschel got it from him. he should be loyal to him. I ain't mad. He's still stupid, but that's a whole nother story. But the budget took them out. The budget's what cost them to go under. It was unsustainable. It was unsustainable. Robert, it's true to a point. Women can change that. Men will go where women go. But come on. Let's talk about sports and let's be honest. Who watches boxing matches to see boxing skills? Who goes to UFC and MMA to see skill? We go to see blood and people knocking each other out. The better basketball teams have a flashy player. Why do we watch hockey? Waiting for the fight. When you go to a WNBA game, you're going to see a lot of fundamentally sound stuff. It is a highly boring game, unless you enjoy fundamentals. Are you willing to pay that price to sit there and watch bounce passes and chest passes and all of this? Nothing is going to make you jump. Nobody jumps out of their seat and be like, man, did you see that chest pass? Oh, hell yeah. No, it doesn't happen. Roy, I mean, not Roy. Robert, look at what you said. If my lady asked me to go check out a WA game with her, I would go. Okay. Flip that. Would you take your lady to a WNBA game, Robert? Because most of us, somebody asks us to go, we'll go. Do we want to be the one paying for it? My super producer, he from the top of his lungs, he screams how much he loves Black women. He screams that from the top of his lung. Roy, would you pay to go see a WNBA game?
Well, see, that's kind of a double-edged sword for me. I actually have gone. I did get free tickets, but I don't pay to go to like NBA games either. So that doesn't work with me. I'm not the one to do that. I don't prefer, just like you got your thing, I got, my social anxiety ain't built for me to really be in those spaces on a regular basis. So yeah. I mean, but I will. So like my daughter wanted to do it. Yeah, I would. I've done that before.
Well,
so I'll do that. Huh?
You wanted to go. Would you take a date there?
As something that I would want to do?
Yeah.
No, because I wouldn't want to do it.
Why? It depend on the price, Robert. It didn't depend on the price when she was taking you. See, Sharonda said she just go and just people watching enjoy halftime. That's the same thing we do at high school football. And we don't want to address that issue. That's the elephant in the room where we're talking about equality. It ain't like everybody work for CNN. Even in CNN, when you get a primetime show, you're going to get more. Other than that, it is what it is. And we can't keep, what up, Harvs? We can't keep saying that they deserve the same thing. It's not the same level of entertainment. Even when the playoffs come and there are people like me, I don't really watch basketball until playoff season. Because I don't like the game that much. I don't watch the women. It's still boring. Sharonda, why do you love high school football other than the fact your son plays? It still got violent collisions. It ain't for Sharonda ain't sitting up in the stands and be like, did you see that cut block? Did you see that cut block? Bro, you like football, don't you? You a dog fan?
Yeah.
Do you pay attention to the cut blocks and the trap blocks? Or you waiting for Tua to throw the ball downfield to Tyreek?
Yeah, I'm looking for somebody to run the ball. I don't trust Tua throwing the ball downfield. But yeah,
you look for somebody to bust through that hole, don't you?
Right. So yes, I am looking at the blocks though.
Yeah, you ain't looking for them you ain't looking for them 3 to 5 yard pounded out plays. Nobody likes those teams. Nobody likes teams that are heavy on run. They're boring. I'm sorry. Dang. Sharonda Gold, she likes the violence. When we see Roll Tide, what does Alabama do? They demolishing people. They running through them, over them, around them. They're not doing it 3-4 yards at a time. And that's okay. We just can't keep using that same narrative about it's sexist when it's just business. It's business. You can only pay what you can support. And right now, everybody who complaining ain't supporting the WNBA. Look at their timelines. They not talking nothing about it. I remember when not Cheryl Swoops, when oh God, what's the lady number 23 who had her first shoe? Yeah, it was Cheryl Swoops. She had her own shoe. From Nike, no less. But you don't see a bunch of women with their shoes out. You damn sure don't see no men wearing these women brand shoes, but you'll see women wearing men's shoes. The WNBA has a shitty marketing program. The WNBA has a shitty way of marketing their players because most of us don't know them. I did a thing about the WNBA Hall of Fame. Out of the 100 people that they had in their Hall of Fame, I only knew 17 of them. And I watch women's sports, like I say, because my daughter plays, so I keep up with certain things. But most of them people, I didn't have a clue as to who they were. The women had a football league. They was playing in underwear. And guess what? We still didn't watch them. We still didn't watch them. And they had some contact. So I just said all that to say that when we're having conversations about fairness, let's be fair about the conversation. Everybody ain't gonna never make the same thing. Because if you're not generating the revenue, before I say that, let me say this. So when we talk about the soccer players who got equal pay, they're governed by the same exact body. The same exact body. When you got the same exact body doing it, then you got a complaint. But just because they're doing the same thing does not mean they deserve the same pay. I bet Google pays more than some of these off-brand, internet companies.
Search engines.
Search engine. Google is the shit. They are a powerhouse. Apple probably pays more than Micro Center and Office Max. Even though people can be doing the same thing, your company determines what you pay, not you having a position like somebody else. The CNN, I guarantee the CNN lead anchor is making more than your local channel anchor. They're doing the same job. It ain't sexism. It's what the company makes. You think WSB is making what CNN is making? Of course not. So let's have legitimate fights. Let's have legitimate arguments when we say who should get what, and let's stop with this crazy double standard. Let's stop defending criminals. We know they're guilty, but we try to lessen their guilt by putting more on the victim. Well, she knew what she was doing. Ladies and gentlemen, ain't no 15-year-old girl, I don't care how grown she looked, I don't care how ready she looked, they don't have the mental fortitude to seduce a grown man. I don't give three shits as to how retarded his ass is. And, I told Trina when Cam made his statement, I took it the wrong. I ain't gonna say I took it the wrong way. I didn't like what he said when he said that women talk too much. And Trina was explaining what she got out of it, and I understood it. But what I also got out of it, fellas, tell me if I'm wrong. What's the easiest way for you to know a girl is too young? When she talk. So if you done convince yourself in your head that her body look right, if she open her mouth and it reveals that she's still a young girl, now you got to do what? Now you got to reassess your standards because she got the body of a 21-year-old. But when she started talking, you realize she's 14. So what you gonna do now? What you gonna do? So when I heard Cam say women need to be quiet, that took me to a place of him wanting, and I ain't saying this is what he did, this is just what I heard. Why you want your woman to shut up? Why you would if she can't talk? You either want her young or you want her just to be obedient. Either one of them didn't work for me. Didn't work. So this girl is 17. By the law, she's legal. If that's what she want to do with her world, I don't agree with it. But she's chasing the bag. Now, 13-year-old girl doing the same thing? Get the hell out of here. What you mean, what's down in my Robert? Samuel says, the major complaint about the difference in the women's national soccer team compared to the men's soccer team is the women have won numerous cups. Right, the women were clearly better, but they were governed by the same body. so they could get equal pay, because women should have actually got better pay, because a men's soccer team ain't been good in a long time. That women's soccer team, if you into that kind of thing, which is a world sport, that women's soccer team is the truth. That women's soccer team is the truth. And it sucks, but let's be honest. Men, guys, fellas, dudes, when we watch women play sports, we don't want the women to look like us. It's hard to enjoy it. It's hard. That's so sexist. Whatever. Why did they push Layla Ali so much? You think it was really because of her name? Layla Ali was not a bad looking woman. She was really
Layla Ali is mother flipping gorgeous.
Right.
Fine.
She was extra easy on
knock a nigga out. Yes, that's why we watched her. Like, I gotta show y'all a picture of what you talking about. Keep talking, because I've used this picture before on something, but keep talking. I got a perfect example of what you're talking about.
But how many female boxers can we name? Because most of them, most of them. And you want me to feel bad about that? Trina laughing. Trina, darling, baby, Sharonda. Do y'all really want to look at manly looking women play a sport? What's up, y'all? Why are you on the wrong page? And this is all I'm saying. We got to be a little bit more honest about things if we want to change the system. We got to be a little bit more honest about this. These are things we look at. Wrestling, $1 billion industry. How many ugly women or fugly women is wrestling promoting? Look at what they wear. Look at how they present themselves. Look at all the makeup they got on to present an image that will make people want to pay to see their acting skills. Just being honest. So when we say what they should get paid, I hear y'all, and you want to make the argument. Is there a pay disparity? Absolutely. Is it fair? Absolutely. 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 They need to keep their ball. They need to lower their rim so they can get some slams in and bring some kind of excitement to the game for the people to enjoy the visual of it. Sports is all about visualization. All about visualization. People care more about the slam dunk contest than they do the three-point contest. Period. Trina says, I don't care if they're manly looking. I just prefer to watch men's sports because of the brute strength. But Trina, because we, you know, what's the UFC lady's name? We watched them. Why? Because the best ones were not technique. They weren't sitting there winning by points. They either making people tap out or they knocking them out. We like the violence of it all. And that's been going on since the beginning of time. As good as the women's softball team is, we don't talk about them a lot. Them women's softballers, boy, they the truthest. You're right, Sharon, the women are supposed to be soft and delicate. And you left out a little special word that we care for more than anything else. They need to be kind of cute. We want to look at them so we can relate to them. You know, I see you and Trina, y'all talking trash, but y'all know that y'all be looking at them little men and they tights and all that other stuff. And that's okay. That's okay. That is so okay. We can't do that. They hard looking. It's unappealing and it's boring. That's a recipe for a disaster. But we got to give up the double standard. That's all I'm saying. Quit saying that she ain't this, she ain't that. She shouldn't have to do this. Sharonda, what would you, if you made $200,000 a year, Sharonda? And remember now, this is what Brittany makes in 6 months. Sharonda, if you made $200,000 a year, would you be one hella hard worker? Hella hard. Trina, $200,000 a year. Would you be a hella hard worker? Hella hard.
All right, D. So check this out. To your point about some stuff. Now, I heard you mention the whole thing about the women's the football lingerie league, right? So there is an actual football league of women who play regular football, like we watch on Sundays. They actually play, and here in Atlanta, they actually had a team, I think, that was based here in Atlanta, and they won gold. So because they're teams from across the world that play in this league. And I was flipping through, and it was funny because the first time I ever saw her, it happened during the month of July, the early part of July, because I had a memory that showed the post that I did for her, right? This chick here, this young lady, the sister, she's a linebacker. Like, I don't watch video of her play. And she like a female LT almost. Ray Lewis, she athletic, she running around the field. And I'm sitting up here looking like, wow, first off, I didn't know that women actually played football to this level. This is a picture of her winning gold. So we see her without the helmet. It's getting there. And then I saw one of these pictures and was like, oh my day. This is the finest damn linebacker I have ever seen in my whole life. She is flipping gorgeous. I met a couple of people that played with her, and some folks that know her. They literally, her nickname is actually Beauty Queen, out there laying cats out. But they call her Beauty because she's an AKA, all that. So, Trina, what's my point of this? That she look good, and I will watch her play football just to look at her. That's what my point is. So, like you said, it's the truth. I mean, there has to be a reason that you watch something. And with women's sports, we know that in this country, regardless of what anybody wants to say, sex sells. And especially when it comes to men. That's why the women's lingerie league will always be more popular than the league that this young lady plays in. Because dudes would rather see women run around in lingerie and seeing butt cheeks than to actually see some kids in there, see some women out there in full football gear, looking legit. It's all that's what men are. Men are physical and visual creatures.
Sharon said you can't see all that with her helmet and pads on. Quit undressing her in her uniform.
Look, I didn't notice it. I ain't start doing that until after I saw the picture without the football gloves on.
And where is she playing?
She actually played here in Atlanta. I believe she's an athletic director in the high school ranks. Right. I'm not going to give her name out just because, I mean, people will probably see her. I'm sure there are people on here who probably know her because I think we had a bunch of mutual friends and stuff. But I mean, yeah, because her birthday was just recently passed is what it was. But yeah, so she's in the athletics. She's coached basketball, football. She's coached boys. She's like coached high school boys basketball. She knows the game.
Robert, so what's her name? You might as well tell us. You don't show her a picture.
K. Michelle.
K. Michelle, like the rapper?
I don't know, not like the singer, but I'm pretty sure that's a Facebook name.
Okay.
Not her actual name.
And the thing is though, could she make it in the pros?
I don't know.
And that's the thing. Even when you make it to the pros, there's still levels. The 7th rounders don't make what the 5th rounders make, who don't make what the 3rd rounders make, who don't make what the 1st rounders make. Everybody playing the same position. I mean, what we had a couple of female kickers in the NCAA. They didn't have what it took to be female kickers. They didn't have what it took. It ain't no disrespect. It's just, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, and that's all. I don't like how we putting up these fronts and trying to make everything be about sexism when some things aren't about sexism. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things that are, but everything ain't. Sometimes things just are what they are. Cops in one town don't make what cops in another town make because of the tax base. That ain't got nothing to do with sexism. That's got to do with the income that they're bringing in. Anybody who works in a metro in a metropolis is going to make more than anybody who's working in a little bum town. It's simple mathematics. Sharonda can't complain that in her business, we're gonna just say, because Sharonda cooks. Sharonda worked for a local mom and pop restaurant being a head chef. She's not gonna make what some of these high price chains make, or like Chef Ramsay. She can't. And yeah, we're talking about the woman that Roy showed. Let's just call it what it is. She was a beauty. Roy, could you imagine her trying to tackle King Henry?
Yeah, not so much.
And it would dilute the game, because if he looks and sees her, he gonna want to slow down, and then the game gonna be soft. Or if he do what he naturally do, everybody gonna say, man, look at him, he run over that woman. Who wants to see a bunch of men running over women who trying to do this? Could we have a competitive game? Could we find 300 women to play competitive football? I don't think so. Judging by that lingerie league, and I've seen some of those women, they got pretty nice arms. Not NFL level. They pretty good for high school level. But how much are we paying high schoolers? Sharonda said she shit herself and then lay there like the damn shields and wait for them to come pick up and carry her off the field. Hell, that's what grown men do when King Henry come around that corner, though. But you know, come on, let's be fair and let's be honest. Let's be fair and let's be honest. Let's stop making excuses for people who do something wrong. Just say, hey, I love them, I wish it wouldn't happen, but stop making excuses. Stop saying, oh, I voted for you, Joe, so free me. We can't prove that she voted for him. And if that ain't what he does. How about, damn, I made a mistake. I shouldn't make this no more. Especially in a hostile country. You know, there are places that when I was in the military, they tell you not to wear your dog tags. Do very little when you leave the base to look like a soldier. They let you grow your hair differently. They don't want you to do anything that marks you as a soldier because it ain't safe for you. There are places where you go that when people find out you're an American, they treat you like shit. There are certain places you go when people find out you're a Black American, they move you up the stratus. You got to know these places. You got to know all this stuff, but you got to know the rules for the place that you're visiting. When Sharonda say, hey, D, you and Trina come to the house, but no smoking. I can't sit there and say, well, I'm a smoker. I don't want you stand up on my rights. I want to smoke. It's Sharonda's house. Sharonda get to set the rules. And if I smoke, Sharonda tell me I got to go. I can't sit there and tell her why she should let me, or the fact that her man smoke or whatever. She can say whatever she wants when I got to abide by that. And people like, man, it's a misdemeanor. And I had to say, see, this is where we don't understand the law. And I ain't going to get big into a law and order show, but understand this. These are facts. These are facts. If you are driving up and down your local street, and depending on what city you in, you smoking reefer, and the local police pull you up, if you in Atlanta, they're going to let you go because they don't lock up for that kind of stuff. But if you smoking a joint at the airport, you have committed a federal crime. You don't get to walk off. The feds still say marijuana is illegal. You can't smoke weed in an airport. And here's the caveat. When you take weed into an airport, you got weed in your luggage. You are leaving the state 9 times out of 10. Nobody flies from Atlanta to Savannah going Delta. You go to another airport for that. But you are leaving the state, which means you are now trafficking because you are taking drugs across state line. It is a super federal crime and automatically a felony. You do not have to complete your flight. All you have to do is attempt it. But we don't want to read because we want to sit there and keep saying, oh, she only had this. Yeah, she had a small amount of hashish. She had a pipe to smoke the hashish in. That's a tool to commit a crime. She is getting ready to leave and cross country lines. That means you're smuggling drugs. It doesn't matter how much you are smuggling. Smuggling is always a felony. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What you can get away with in one place don't mean you can get away in another place. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't do it. Just because you try to minimize it, exactly, you're trying to minimize the crime based on how you feel, the law does not give a shit how you feel. It is there. It is there. Why put yourself in harm's way? Why sit back and say, oh, I've done it before? So you did it before and you got away with it, you got comfortable. I'm gonna bring it home for you. Me and Trina, we do our thing. I stay out late one night. Trina tells me, she gives me my warning. D, I don't like when you do that. Don't do it again. I'm like, oh yeah, she, you know what I'm saying? She gonna fuss a little bit, but she ain't gonna do nothing. I decided to stay out late again. Come home, Trina gone. Trina, what's up? Why you gone? I told you I feel disrespected when you do it, but you stayed last time. See? And so when we get away with something, we keep thinking we should be able to get away with that same shit over and over and over again. Okay. We get comfortable thinking won't nothing happen. And then when the piper come to collect, we start crying about, oh, I got away with this before. I did this before and you didn't do nothing, but I gave you a warning. Let's get away with it. Or hell, you might have caught me slipping and I didn't give you a warning. But either way, you knew it was wrong. Now you don't want me to do nothing because you got away with it one time. Roy, have you ever sped? Have you ever exceeded the posted speed limit by more than 5 miles an hour?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say yeah.
Thank you, Roy. So the fact that you got away with it every time, now that Yardley, who works for one of my favorite agencies behind you, and you're like, man, I always speed down the street. Does that mean he should let you go because you ain't never been caught before? I'm just gonna answer that for you. Hell to the no. Count your blessings and stop being greedy, because greed is what got you. I locked up a guy for speeding next to me because he trying to keep up with me. I'm trying to lead him so he can do 65, 70 miles. But he thought it was okay to keep up with me. When I pulled him over and asked what was going on, the first thing he said was, oh, I go to World Changes. All right, well, I hope they can come get your ass out of jail. I don't know what that's supposed to mean to me. And people have this crazy ass way, truly, of being arrogant and greedy and wanting other people to acquiesce to their inconsiderateness. I'm making up my own words. I know it's some kind of way like that. But come on now. B, you ever lent that one friend $10 on the strength? He asked you for some money again, and he decided he didn't want to give that money back. I don't even know why I'm asking B that, because I know B ain't let nobody no money twice who ain't paid him back. But sometimes we lend money on the strength because we know you really need it when you expect it back. But when we tell you to pay us back, you're like, man, you got this. Hey, B, I'm too late. I didn't want to write tickets. I'm gonna tell you another story later. Shit, B, I'll tell you now, fuck it. When I pull you over, B, I'm gonna ask you, do you want a ticket? And tell me why I shouldn't give you one. I'm gonna go back to my car for 6 minutes, listen to a song, and come back. If you can give me a good reason why I shouldn't give you a ticket, I'm gonna let you go. See, I understood what my job was. My job was to slow traffic down. So if I can spend 10 minutes with you on a traffic stop, my lights, everybody who coming, they slowing down. I was a sheriff. That's all I had to do. Now, Hines, that's a different story. Hines was a po-po. He got a little something different to do. But the thing is, you can't tell Hines, well, D let me go. Why you giving me a ticket? We two different people. What Dynamite logo? Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's your logo though, ain't it? The Dynamite thing that kept popping up. But yeah, it's 7:45. Hey man, I'm glad y'all came. We did our thing. I want y'all to, again, check out my boy Brian. He gonna do a show on the 28th. He gonna let me know. He gonna even let me be on 1 or 2 shows. I'm gonna let y'all know. Make sure y'all check out Robert Stafford on Tuesday from 7 to 9. He doing his thing. It's called Overflow. He even got a group if you want to get in. They got a lot of interesting subjects. Who else got a show? Sharonda got a Airbnb, right? Anybody else got anything else I need to talk about right quick? Because, hey, man, this is all about sharing stuff. I want y'all to share the video. Ask your friends to come like the page. Y'all know them last few days, there's been a lot of good shit on the page, right? Who else got something? Trina Marie on hiatus, so she ain't. Robert asked Trina about being on the show now. Sammy, when you gonna come on the show, man? Don't make me come to you. Where's Trisha? But yeah, Roy got some things planned. We got some things planned. Roy, you got anything coming up with my JBN soon?
I do, other than the little NerdCon commercial that y'all been seeing, but we're gonna we'll be dropping some information in the next couple of weeks.
All right, Sharonda got an Airbnb. Oh, it's in Rex. All right, so I have to check that out. Maybe we got to go stay up. We got to go stay there, and so I can give y'all a review. You know I got you. We don't get along, but that's just because you don't want to act right. Robert, see there? Sam, you gonna come on the show if I talk politics? So you keep playing, Sam. I done invited you. And when the guy tags you on that post and asks you, you ain't come. We're tripping. Hey, answer Trina Marie, Robert, why I see on here. I want to thank y'all again for joining me. We the Honeycomb Hideout. Boy, that just sounds like it's some X-rated shit, Sharonda, but I'm gonna let that ride. We like to have uncomfortable conversations. We like to talk about things, come up with solutions, not just complain about the system. But let's have these uncomfortable conversations so we can move forward. Let's help each other by promoting each other. The 98%. You know what it was, Sam. You saw the post. Don't act. And you want to come on the show, man, let me know. I've been trying to get Sharonda on there. She flexing too. So Sharonda, come on so you can promote your Airbnb. What you mean I can make her come? What? See, that came out dirty too. But you can ask Trina, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But this is what we have fun. If you're thinking about you want to do a show, hit Roy up, Roy M. Evans, or do you answer my JBN page, Roy?
Yep.
And either one, but hit Roy up if you want to do a show and come on here. We're gonna start doing commercials. I just be slacking sometimes, but we're gonna get there. If you need help,
he's gonna be doing commercial breaks.
If you hit me up because you need help with it, I'm more than happy to either have you on my show or help you with your show. We just have to make sure the times work. But hey man, I'm glad I got y'all. I appreciate y'all for letting me spend time with y'all in y'all living room while y'all doing whatever y'all doing, because y'all fast asses need to be a Bible study. But I know y'all heathens among us. But in all seriousness, I appreciate what y'all do. I appreciate how y'all keep me focused, even when y'all fuss at me when I don't need to be fussed at, Samuel. I appreciate that. I appreciate Roy and everything he do to let me do this. What we ain't gonna. You want to? Hey, Sharonda, you want to show? Hit me up. We'll talk. What you mean? What's Bob? You stupid. Sharonda, if you want to show, we can talk. And I'm sure Roy would want to talk to you. Roy, Sharonda cooks too. So Roy got some events planned that maybe y'all can do some kind of networking. You can come sell your wares and do whatever, and we go from there. But for real, Sharonda, if you want to do a show, let Roy know. We unapologetically Black. And what's some quick requirements you got for coming on your show, Roy? For doing the show with my JBN?
Normally just pay the monthly fee.
And
we run, I'll run disclaimers in a heartbeat, so you can say whatever the hell you want to.
Yeah, but the app is on
everything, Apple, Google.
You can download the app for the show. He's gonna put it on YouTube so you can tell people where to go on YouTube. So, he gonna run the whole thing for you. You can have guests, he can do graphics, he can do all the other good stuff. So come on over. So I don't get in trouble. Make sure, you follow my JBN on YouTube, even Random Thoughts with DVP on YouTube. But come check us out. Download the app. It works better for what we're trying to do, even though I love having y'all on Facebook so I can see the comments and interact better with y'all. But Roy got it to the point where when he showed on people who come in on YouTube, their stuff still comes on here. It won't come in my stand-up. So I had to learn to read the captions because I didn't know that. I'm still learning this whole process. But we'd be more than happy to have you. I'll come on your show. You're gonna need security. So Roy, is it all right if we leave a little bit early? I know it ain't a whole lot early, but is it all right if we leave a little bit early?
Si, senor.
Now I got to get permission because I don't want to get in trouble.
You're hilarious.
All right. Y'all got any questions for me? If y'all want me to talk about something, shoot me an inbox. I got a couple of hot subjects coming up in the next couple of weeks. And, you know, all I require is that you be honest. You don't have to agree with me. Let's just be able to talk like adults. And if you got a point that's different, just be able to explain it. Don't just say just cause. And understand the difference between your opinion and what's fact. I got a lot of opinions and I try to claim my opinions. But what are facts are things I can point to and put you in the right direction. Laws are facts. What's enforced or not, those are subjective. It's still against the law. So because this ain't ever happened, you ain't never seen it, don't mean it. You know, y'all ain't ever seen me go to the bathroom, but trust me, I do. So let's get out that narrative. Let's push each other forward. Let's promote each other. Even if you don't spend money with a friend, let's stop promoting rich people and let's promote the lesser people. Let's promote our friends, whether they cyber friends or real friends. Promote my JBN. Get people to come. Roy got shows on more than just today. He got the Grumpy Nerds show. He got the HBCU sports. There's a lot of things he got going. Like I said, Sharonda got the Airbnb. Robert got a show. There's so much networking that we can do in-house to help each other, promote each other. Because the quicker one of us blows up, the quicker one of us can, you know, ask the other one for some money. And we all one team, one heartbeat. We all we got. So remember that. Keep striving to be better. And if your timeline got too much negativity, change the narrative and post something positive. If don't nobody comment, you've done your part. You can't make people drink the water that you take them to. You can't make them. But you can control your own destiny to a certain point. You have total control over your page. Even when you're in jail, you got control. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna drink my last little. You know, this one's too big, but and then alcohol because I'm trying to be healthy. But until next week, y'all know what it is, right? Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease, and we out.